it's like a direct correlation, and that certainly is a better situation in the second half. We had 1 for 5 yards and played a lot cleaner, and that certainly helped. So good to see the offensive execution in the second half looked a lot better. Defense kept playing, special teams did a good job, and good to be back in the facility Sunday and see everybody in person. Have a chance to congratulate them just on their effort and just through playing through the bumps and going the full 60, doing a good job there. So happy again for the football team. Moving forward to this week, we have the same 4 captains. You got Jay Higgins and Quinn Schulte on defense, and then Luke Lachey and Cade McNamara offensively. It's the same 4 guys there. I think injury-wise, we're pretty clean. Looks like came out in pretty good shape. Hopefully, we make it through the week here without any issues. And the game obviously is a big game. It's a rivalry game. Certainly, it's been intense for a long time. It's my 34th experience. I've seen a lot of different things during the course of that time. But bottom line is, it's just a really good game for our state. I think it's just good for everybody if they're involved in football and like football. And then on top of it, I think it's probably a little bit underappreciated outside of our state in terms of the intensity of the rivalry and the way the players go after it each and every time. So it's really a good football game. Talking about Iowa State real briefly, obviously a really good football program and a good football team. I've got a lot of admiration for their staff. They've got a really good coaching staff there. They've done a great job since Coach Campbell arrived. And they've got a veteran football team, at least they're really veteran where it counts, and done a really nice job. Not a big surprise. They've recruited well, they coach their guys well, and each and every year, there's a good program, good team. Look at the last 6 years right now, I think it's a 5-point whatever differential between the 2 teams. So I would expect the same thing Saturday. Enough tough, competitive, hard-fought ball game, and that's what we're looking at there. So kid captain this week is 8-year-old Atlas Coleman from West Des Moines. Atlas, they discovered a tumor in Atlas's lung. A year and a half, they had to take that out, and then found a really rare form of cancer that they had to work through. And kind of glad to say he's doing really well. He's in school and just like every other kid, having a good time. Apparently, he's got a good sense of humor, tells jokes, and just a great young guy. So it'll be good to have him and his family here with us. Look forward to that. And it's a big game here, big rivalry, and we turned the page yesterday, moved on towards our preparation here, and the big challenge right now is getting through this week and just doing a great job with our preparation, knowing it's going to be a tough game on Saturday. So I'll throw it out there for questions.
Start with Chad.
Chad likes to go to Des Moines Register. Before we move on, I would like, what can you tell us about your experience on Saturday? Were you like a coach? Were you more like a fan? Did you like a little tailgate? I mean, did you have,
there's no tailgate. Yeah.
What was going through your? Describe as much as you can.
I actually had a grandson in the house, so got up, had a couple scrambled eggs, 2 scrambled eggs, and nothing too dramatic. Just kind of killed time, and then did that more so with him. But when the game started, it's just different. Watching on TV is really different. You can see better. That's one thing. And I had a nice surface to write on, which is the second thing. So I guess those are 2 upgrades. But outside of that, there wasn't much good about it. It just it's sterile. And there's really you're pretty much helpless. Not that I do a lot during games anyway. I'm not playing, but you just have a total feeling of disconnection. So it was really strange. Really strange.
Kirk, Tyler Tashman with the Des Moines Register. I think in the second half there was 6 offensive possessions. He scored a touchdown on 5 of them. Just like, what's kind of going through your head as you see that unfold?
It felt a lot better watching from where I was watching. That life was a lot better in the second half. And again, that's really the study in offense. Execution's a huge part of the game. It takes a lot of concentration, a lot of detail. And I think one thing for sure, the penalty situation did impact us in the first half. Second thing, we really didn't throw or catch. The throws weren't always accurate, and then we made some of those throws in the second half, and we caught the ball well. So it gives you a chance to get going. And then the run game was certainly a little cleaner and crisper, but those are things you go through, and we're going to go through a series of things over the course of the season. As much as you try and camp and you try to put the guys in pressure situations and create things and all that, but it's not the same as playing a game. And until you get in a game, you really don't know how individuals are going to perform or how they're going to play. And then the other component is just the same thing to be said about your team. You just don't know how they're going to respond to those situations. they're going to rise, and we'll have a bunch of them here in the next 11 games out there. You just don't know what they are, but I think the biggest takeaway for me was just the way our guys stuck together. They kept a good attitude, and I'm not so sure how many adjustments got made at halftime, but we just played a little cleaner in that second half. And then, when you do that, you give yourself a chance for some success.
Oh, yeah.
Kirk, Elliott Clough, Hawkeye Beacon. Cade, obviously, like the rest of the offense, had a really strong second half. And I know a lot of what we've talked about here is the fact that he hasn't been healthy, and now we got to see him play healthy. Just your thoughts, were you impressed with what he did in the second half?
Absolutely.
Were you feeling more confident going into this second week? Where are you at with Cade and his performance on Saturday?
Yeah, I've been saying it pretty consistently. I think you can't quantify this, and it's just going off experience. But I think, to me at least, one of his biggest challenges. Firstly, getting through the injury was the first challenge, first and foremost. And I will say this, after watching TV, and if I hear one more thing about ACL repairs, this is 2024. There's a lot of guys playing college football and pro football that have had ACL repairs. So to me, that's so far in the rearview mirror right now. But nonetheless, it was a reality, certainly this past year to deal with it. But more importantly, I think it's just getting back into football shape, if you will, and playing in a team environment, not a 7-on-7 environment, which he hasn't really done for 2 years, as a healthy player. So to see him keep his attitude positive and keep working through it, he was much cleaner in the second half, and that's what you hope a guy's going to do. And he's got game experience that's in his pocket. That's a good thing for him. But he's that 2-year gap, I think, is something that he's had to work through. And it was good to see him. He looked relaxed, looked confident, and that was in that second half. And those are positive things. You can't hand that to a player. They've got to go out and experience and earn it.
John Steffi, Cedar Rapids Gazette. I don't remember seeing Jazzy Patterson out there on Saturday. Can you kind of comment on his status, and do you have a sense of how quickly Seth Anderson could get back on the field?
Yeah, so Jazz, that was a coach's decision to keep him out. He'll be back. Was back with us yesterday, and we expect him to be ready to roll this week. And great young guy. Just something we decided to do. Seth it's not as bad maybe as we thought initially, but nonetheless, I guess it was last Wednesday. We met Tuesday, so the next day, of course. And it doesn't look as bad right now. We'll probably know a little bit more here by the end of the week, but it won't be this week. It's hopefully we're talking about a week or two, not multiple weeks.
John in the back.
Coach Jeffrey Ruff, KCCI Des Moines. I thought a great stat that came out of the game last Saturday was Reese Vanders. He was the first true freshman wideout for Iowa to score a touchdown in the season opener since 2006. He obviously had 2 in the game, the first freshman to do that since 2017. When was it, if there was a moment that you saw in practice that this was the type of guy who could make an impact at such a young age? And if it wasn't a moment, what did you see that, I guess, gave you confidence in him too?
Yeah, I'll go back to recruiting him. We were really excited about him. And I saw him 2 years ago, I guess. I saw Zach playing basketball a lot more. And he was out there playing, and I got to go up and see him during our bye week last week. Saw a couple games that night, and just like he's playing quarterback, just like the way he handles himself, carries himself. And then it was frustrating this summer because he had a multitude of things that kind of held him back from the summer program, just general training. And so he missed a lot of time that way. Fortunately, he was able to get back and get going. And since we've been in practice, he just carries himself well. I don't know how well you know him. I don't want to say he's expressionless, but he doesn't get real demonstrative. He's just really steady, very focused and mature for his age, I think, and his experience level. So he just continues to grow, continues to do a good job with whatever we throw at him. And as we went on, it just became apparent to us that he's probably the guy to have in there. And I thought he, again, just watching on TV, it looked like he really performed well the other day. And I'm out on the sideline seeing him and all those things, but he just seemed to handle things in stride. So it's not too big for him, and he certainly likes to compete. And it was good to see him go up with his hands and catch balls and make some plays for us.
Mitch, back right.
Mitch, for KGAN, I know you guys have had camp and scrimmage with helmet comms and tablets, but what have you heard about how that worked out on Saturday and the advantage it can bring to just get instant feedback?
Yes, it seems like all the feedback is really good. I was curious about that Sunday morning, and it seemed like everything went pretty smoothly. No major delays. I guess they run a little bit behind with the tablets, but no, it sounded like it was really good. I think everybody thought there was a benefit to it for sure.
Colin Sebring with KGAN. Last year when you guys played Iowa State,
probably didn't know a lot about Rocco Beck. That was the only his second start of his career. Now you've had a chance to see a lot more of him, a lot more game film. As you look at him this week, what are some challenges that he particularly presents to your defense?
Yeah, when I talked about them being a veteran team, veteran in the key parts, and that's one of the ones positions I was referencing. Well, he's not an old guy, but he's really played enough now where I think he's a very confident guy, very, very poised, and just does a good job running their offense. So they've got a really talented group of receivers. Tight end Brahmer's a really good football player, so they've got guys that they can get the ball to, and I'm sure they will. So he's done a really nice job leading their football team, and I'm guessing his best football is still ahead of him.
Chad, nice to go again. Wanted to ask about Caleb and Caleb Johnson. Obviously, was out in the first half. Is there anything he needs to be doing better to be in like good standing with you guys, et cetera, et cetera? And then also Caleb Brown, how's he looked in coming back this week? Will he be a part of your plans on Saturday?
Yeah, he's looked good, both those guys, and anything that happens along the way, we just our deal is like we deal with it, and then my encouragement for everybody is we're looking forward. We're not looking back unless there's a reason to. And Caleb has really practiced well. I get two Caleb's here. Yeah, Caleb Johnson. Let's start there. The first guy you asked about, he's really been practicing well and did a good job. And when he went in there, I wasn't surprised. He just it's how he's been practicing. Really focused and hit the holes hard and all those types of things. So good to see that. That's probably as good as well as I've seen him run the football since he's been here. And great young guy, got a great attitude and good. And then Caleb, it's going to be good to get him back too. And so the deal was last week he worked on the scout team against our defense, and Phil and those guys said he did a great job. And